Good afternoon, respected session chairs and authors. Myself Faria Alam. My paper ID is 270 and the title of my research is Exploring the Use of Kansei Engineering to Design Educational App for Preschoolers. Me along with four other authors contributed on this study. The outline of my presentation is flashed on the screen in this order. Now, firstly, talking about Kansei engineering. Kansei engineering mainly translates user emotions and feelings into elements design. Suppose if we want to design any element using Kansei engineering concept, we have to choose some attributes that are related to that element, which are known as Kansei words in Kansei engineering terms. And for those attributes, we have to choose some variables that means some adjectives related to that product or that attributes that is known as variables in Kansei engineering. Those variables are required for taking the user preferences. As we are talking about user, color plays a very vital role in capturing user attention and influencing emotional responses. Most prior studies applied Kansei concept to adults and teenagers, not for preschoolers. So, in our study, we explored the impact of Kansei color engineering in designing educational apps for preschoolers. For this, we have developed an atomic system with five different objects in different color combinations. And on them, we have taken the preference of preschoolers. Later, the preference were converted into mathematical data to define principles for designers. Now, talking about background study, as our study combines Kansei engineering with color psychology of preschoolers, so we have done background study on these two sectors. Firstly, color psychology in children. Some studies show that children's color preference can be influenced by gender. Girls often favor pink, orange, and red, while boys prefer blue and neutral color. Another study conducted on children of 4 to 7 years using eye trackers, it has shown that they prefer color with moderate brightness and reduced saturations. Another study which conducted on 3 to 5 years show a preference for bright colors like red and pink. And lastly, one of the study on color, background color, that is conducted on preschoolers that showed that computer program color can affect preschoolers' mental state. Now, talking about Kansei engineering applications, it has been applied to many web and product design in respect of color, layout, and emotional appeal. Kansei engineering also applied to transport website, university posts, which are mostly used by teenagers and children products, which usually bought by their parents. They I can categorize them as adults. These are used on Kansei engineering to improve the usability and satisfaction of those websites. So, from the literature review, we came into the conclusion that Kansei engineering concept has primarily been applied to websites designed for adults and teenagers, but the specific effect of color in educational life for preschoolers using Kansei concept has not been thoroughly explored. For this reason, the aim of our study is to explore the impact of Kansei color engineering in designing educational apps for preschoolers that influence the learning process of preschoolers. Why we are choosing that educational apps? We know that nowadays electronic device has immense increased popularity, and on these are used by all of the age range people, and the preschoolers are also addicted to these electronic devices. They mostly see cartoons or animation videos. So if we can use Kansei engineering color concept to their to educational app, so that it might influence the learning process of preschoolers. Now, coming to the study method, starting with our research design, we designed atomic system consisting of distinct user interface that represented five objects which are very familiar to preschoolers. The objects are flashed on the right side of the screen. As we are recording color impacts, so objects were designed with three different variations. Now, talking about the participants, the sample size is 30 preschool children, and the age range, as we are considering preschool, so the age range is 4 to 6 years, and the group was evenly split with 15 boys and 15 girls. Now coming how we are incorporating Kansei. The interfaces featured five objects familiar to preschoolers that are worked as a Kansei words for our research. That is zebra crossing, cat, house, bird, and a car. And the variables we are choosing, that is each object was presented in three different colors that we categorized in three different color contrasts. That means medium, high, and low. Now coming to procedure, how we have taken the data, that we flash each of the object to the in front of the participants or the preschooler and asked about their most preferred color. And we have taken this as scored that as 3, and then the second most preferred colors we scored that as 2, and the other is as 1. Now coming to data analysis part, we calculated the mean and standard deviation of preference score for each object color combination separately for boys and girls. From mean and standard deviation value, we calculated the p-value and t-value. Finally, a significance threshold of 0.05 was used to determine whether the difference was statistically significant. This is the result part where we are showing the mean and mean of preference of girls and boys, and this is the results and discussion part. In zebra crossing, we have seen that they chose mostly the black and white combination which they are familiar with, and for bird and house they preferred the higher contrast color, that is yellow and red rather than blue. And for car they choose black most and then gray, and least of them choose the red one as they hardly seen red car in their surroundings. So from the rightmost columns, we have seen that the p values are non-significant, so that we can say that there is a different color preference is very not significant, much more significant among the genders. Only one color pair show minimal gender-based preference difference. So from our results, the educational app designers can use this to increase their usability, and kids may feel interested to use the educational app. Some limitations are also included. We can use more participants and diverse participants and a wider variety of objects. These are the references I use in my presentation. Thank you for patiently hearing my presentation.
Thank you, Faria. I would like the session please. Dr. Basu,
No question from my end. Kaushal sir?
Dr. Kaushal.
It's okay. I think she has already put up a long presentation which clearly defines all the aspects of the work.
Okay. Anybody else from the audience has any questions? Please go ahead. Okay, then thank you, Faria. That was a very good presentation.
Thank you so much, sir.